Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 7 of our F123 My Team career mode. Yes, this weekend Formula 1 returns to the jewel in the crown. It's the one they all want to win. It was the one that I finally took a victory at on F122 in just our very last chance. Yes, we're here, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. If you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Imola, obviously went live fairly late yesterday evening, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And again, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for the continued support so far on F123. We're closing in on 110,000 subscribers. You know, if you haven't already, please do make sure you click that subscribe button as well. Get those notifications on so you don't miss any further videos. Today, though, is a sad day. I'm only going to be uploading one video from the F1 My Team career mode because later on I'm going to be bringing you highlights from the first round of my Williams Road to Glory. Of course, those are live streamed over on Twitch at Matt212. There's a link down in the description if you want to go follow me on Twitch as well. Of course, we'll in fact even be live again tonight with round 3 of that series. Yeah, plenty going on around the channel at the moment. Of course, I'm loving F123, and I'm hoping we can continue that as we head into the Monaco Grand Prix there. Quick performance update. With some upgrades coming in, we have now gone past Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri once more. You can see we're starting to get a bit more of a staggered lineup right the way throughout, actually, the entire F1 roster. And we've got a few more things that we can try and upgrade on the car, including a front wing flat profile, which is going to be a big upgrade there. Now, that one won't be due until the Austrian Grand Prix, so we've got a little bit of time as we wait for that one to come in, and then hopefully we can earn some more R&D points as well this weekend. But making good, steady progress throughout this first season. Yesterday we had 2 promising races, without giving too many spoilers. Maybe Monaco. I can finally score those points. I do love coming back to Monaco. It's such a unique circuit on the F1 calendar, and I know we've got so many street races nowadays, but this one really does still feel special. It's, like I said, the one they all still want to win, and absolutely would love to. I mean, I think a win might be probably off the cards today, unless we had something absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, just want to try and get settled in, of course. It's going to be weird as well. You know, on F122, not being able to push that hard around most of the venues, it's going to be weird sort of seeing how much you can try and exploit around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit on F123, how much quicker the times are going to become, and of course how much better it might end up even being for racing. Of course, you know, we might now be able to get better runs down in towards the tunnel, and of course out of the final corner as well. So fingers crossed, you know, most tracks have been improved by the changes made to F123. Let's hope Monaco is another one. Well, I'll take it as an achievement. First lap then around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. We haven't hit any walls, which is always good. I think that'll only be the green score, however. Not far away from purple. Well, definitely building up the confidence once again then here around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. It's just about... I know I keep getting comments about it from people about how hesitant I still am on the throttle. I'm trying to learn the new game. I'm trying to work out what you can and can't get away with. But purple score then to kickstart the weekend. All those little things just help add the confidence. Right, jumping in then, race simulation run up next. This is going to be a good test to see what the actual pace is like around here, and also, of course, the consistency once again. But yeah, I must admit, you know, on F122 Monaco, it felt very much, obviously, I mean, it always feels like a challenge. It's Monaco, of course, but it felt always a lot more like an inconvenience, which was a shame, because on the previous F1 games prior to that, I really had loved this place. This weekend, though, I think it's going to be all down to looking after the tyres early on in the stint. You know, of course, if you cut the tyres, you're screwed around here. I mean, you're screwed around everywhere. On F123, we're very quickly learning the importance of sort of nursing the tyres into a stint. I mean, yeah, like I said, if you destroy the tyres anywhere, you know, you cannot work them too hard early on in the stint. There, it's all nudging the wall as we head through the swimming pool section. But yeah, I think around here it's going to be very critical, and of course it does potentially allow for some different strategies around here. The undercut, again, going to be absolutely everything around this venue. But first race sim run then, a long way under the expected delta, so that's good. Hopefully We can get another purple. Tell you what though, this place never gets easier. There's still every corner it feels like you're just wincing as you get closer and closer to the barriers there. And I think, yeah, front locking as well. You know, I feel like I'm getting there in terms of the brake bias and the brake pressures, things like that. I feel like I've found a system now that is really working for me. I am also tempted, if it's something that people still want to see, because I know I've been getting asked about it, I am tempted to release some setups or some track guides as well for F123, but they'll be done over on my second channel, my sim racing channel, of course, where I do like iRacing and that kind of thing. So again, there'll be a link left down to that down in the description below, of course, if you're interested. Yeah, iRacing, Gran Turismo, and F1 League Racing will all be going up over there over the course of F123. So yeah, would recommend dropping it a sub. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers, which would be a really nice milestone to hit. The final corner though, that is going to be purple again then in the race sim run. Dare I try a qualifying sim? They don't work on F123, but I'm going to risk it. There we go, at the final corner. It's going to be 1.7 seconds away there. We go fastest still. But yeah, 12.7 up against a 10.9. Hamilton immediately goes quicker than me. But yeah, apparently we're qualifying last. Okay, right, 3 minutes left then on the clock here in Monaco qualifying, and now we are either in deep trouble or in a really, really good situation here. It is wet qualifying here for the Monaco Grand Prix, as everyone else trying to head out then for their final runs. Track is meant to be getting quicker and quicker, so we just want to make sure we're one of the last cars to start a lap. Luckily, I made sure I came out onto the circuit with just enough time to try and do a couple of laps at least. That was close. Just so then obviously we can try and get used to the circuit, of course, as it is constantly improving. Early on in the session, I think it was even full wet conditions, so yeah, knew there was no real point in coming out, especially if the track was meant to be drying up. But yeah, we're going to see some times drop very, very quickly here, I think, right towards the end of Q1. So like I said, this is either going to go really well or really, really badly for us then. It's coming towards the start-finish line. Then to finish off my first run, that will be P2, just behind Charles Leclerc. So I think we've got enough time to do this run and one more after this. I'm really hoping this weekend then can be shades of Senna in his Tolman rather than Sergio Perez in his Red Bull a couple of weekends ago. They're another 4/10 up at the moment. But again, it's just whether we can get onto another run after we finish this one. Maximum downforce on the car. I don't know quite what the AI setups are going to be, but let's just see. Our way through the final couple of turns, then this is going to be another big improvement as Charles Leclerc goes fastest. Fittipaldi goes up onto the front row. We are going to cross the start-finish line, though. We are going to get one more lap in then, so even if other drivers do still improve, and I mean, look at that, Tsunoda, Ocon, Sergio Perez, everyone is going quicker here, so it's no doubt about it. We are probably going to end up in the drop zone by the end of this lap, but it's just how much more time we can try to find. I think we might be the last car on a run. Maybe Yuki behind me has just about snuck onto another one as well. I don't know whether Fittipaldi is continuing to push on. But yeah, you can see already Fittipaldi down into the drop zone. We're down into the drop zone as well, so we need to improve there as Verstappen and Sainz go even quicker. No, we've nudged the wall. Come on, keep it going, keep it going. We're still... No, we're losing time. I think 3 laps on these intermediates might just be too much then, so potentially we have gone and hampered ourselves here as we try and head down the hill, get the car slowed down, plenty of curbing through the chicane. We're just going to have to try and send it and pray that we can find a little bit more there. Nope, not if we do that. Another wall just slapped. And you can see there immediately the front lock-in almost unbearable. We're still only a 10th down with just the Raskas and Anthony Nogues to go. But I think we have messed it up here in qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix, and it is more like Perez than Senna. That is heartbreaking out of the final corner. It's P19, but Charles Leclerc as well, out in Q1. His Monaco curse will continue. I mean, that is absolutely devastating there. Carlos Sainz fastest at the end of Q1. Red Bull's joining him alongside both Mercs. But yeah, I really felt like we could have had the pace for something special this weekend. I mean, we were only out by 0.3 of a second, but that mistake really, really did cost us there. Charles Leclerc, though, the big loser out in Q1 as well. Nico Hülkenberg in his hat as well. I think that's the first time he's had a Q1 exit this season. But P19 on the grid then for the Monaco Grand Prix. We're going to need to try and do something a bit unorthodox today if we want to score points. Before we jump into that, though, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, Headout. We all want to go to Formula 1 Grand Prix in 2023, but ticket prices seem to always be increasing. Headout offer the best prices available to every single Grand Prix on the 2023 calendar, and I've partnered up with them to try and spread awareness to you all. Click the link down in my description below and you'll be taken to their offers page, and if you use my unique code MAT30, you'll get an extra 30% off when you purchase. You also help support the channel in the process. Headout are a trusted seller and offer some of the best seats available for Formula 1 races, so a massive thank you to them, and let's get back into the video.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Perez, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Norris, Stroll, Gasly, Bottas, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Albon, Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Mr. Monaco, Sargent, De Vries, Sargent. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Well, I'm not convinced by Kevin Magnussen's new moustache there, for those of you that watched the intro. But here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. And in terms of strategy then, hard to be... I mean, really around here, it just depends on whether we get a safety car, doesn't it? I think if we don't get a safety car, we're probably in for a very, very long afternoon. If we do get a safety car, maybe there is a chance of something special happening. But just going to have to look after those hard tyres. Maybe we can try and follow Charles Leclerc early on this afternoon, but it looks like a lot of cars going on to mediums, so who really knows? Is Mercedes once again on pole? I always forget, I'm so used to qualifying up towards the front here in Monaco that we come out of that final corner and there's next to no room to try and get some heat into the tyres, but perfect lineup. We'll take that. 0.0 on the grid then, but 39 laps ahead of us around the Monaco Grand Prix. Let's try and build some RPM. 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. And actually a little bit wheel spinny in the initial phase there. We'll try and cover off as Hülkenberg already. Whoa, Charles Leclerc there. We'll have a look down the inside of the Ferrari down at turn 1. And the homeboy, you know what? We might just make the spot up there immediately. Able to overtake one of the fastest cars in Formula 1 at the start. You know what? I mean, yeah, starting so far back today, we may as well just try and take risks early on there as Nico Hülkenberg just slots in behind Alex Albon in front. Whoa, they always break early down there. It's down the inside of not only 1 but 2. A Nico Hülkenberg style move on Nico Hülkenberg. Sadly, though, it's going to leave me a little bit boxed out as we head through the hairpin. Just take it. No! Are we 3 wide? I thought then for a second Hülkenberg might have tried to get up the inside of Alex Albon as he almost put me in the wall. But side by side, as we head down through Portier, we have completed the move. The start was fine. Mark, we made 3 places up on the opening lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If F122 Mark could see me now, he'd be absolutely buzzing. As Hamilton still leads the way than the end of lap 1. Perhaps a little bit more fire in his belly after seeing George Russell take that win last weekend at Imola. Maybe the Mercedes much better suited to the high downforce circuits that of course we had over the last couple of races. But yeah, we've just got to be very careful here. Yuki Tsunoda as well on a set of the hard compound tyres, but like I said, it's all about just not working them too hard early on into a stint, really easing them into a Grand Prix, so that is going to be the big focus. A DRS range of Kevin Magnussen in front of him, and this is what I meant about F123. Now the traction is so much better, we might actually be able to get a run down through the tunnel. Up the inside of Yuki will go, and you know what? That's our first, what I call a true overtake around the Monaco Grand Prix on F123 there. Mark loving it as well. That will probably be my signature move. 5 then, just really trying to settle into a rhythm early on in this race, but the paces feel a lot stronger than what we were obviously able to showcase in qualifying. Then Kevin Magnussen now just in front of me, maybe starting to drop back from Oscar Piastri just a little bit, but yeah, the only other... that's one of the things I'm worried about. The only other big thing I'm worried about, of course, this afternoon is just being on these hard compound tyres. Of course, the AI are going to have a big opportunity to undercut me. And then it's just how hard we're going to have to push late on and how many more potential overtakes I'll have to make late on in the day. I think at the moment I tried to get a run on Magnussen down through the tunnel. Sadly, of course, it was a bit easier against Yuki Tsunoda on the hard compound tyres, but against these mediums, we're going to have to wait a few more laps until we start to see a bit of a pace crossover, because in the traction zones we still haven't really got much against K-Mag. Just got to prepare myself to spend a lot of time looking at that Haas logo. Just noticing an engine warning light flashing up as well, so please no power unit failures here in Monaco. What is that on then? Which component? Oh, gearbox again. We're getting through gearboxes early on this season. Perhaps I need to stop changing gear as much. Magnussen, not the best run out of the final corner then as we start lap 10. Are we potentially going to be able to have a look down the inside? No. Magnussen there just spots us. And let's be fair, we all know what K-Mag's like. I was never going to get an inch. Yeah, Magnussen now, I think, is starting to hold me up a bit too much. You can see he's dropping away behind Oscar Piastri a little bit more, so need to try and start finding a way around him. The other idea I had, though, was try and pit, like, the end of lap 15 onto the mediums, undercut the AI, as Magnussen, again, they see going defensive down at 1, and try and get a run up the hill on the Haas car. Try to undercut and then really stretch a set of medium tyres right the way through to the end. That's the other thing I'm thinking about. I mean, we may as well try it, mightn't we, this afternoon, as, well, unless I can get around Kevin Magnussen pretty much on this lap, he is just really starting to cost me a lot of time around this venue there. You can see how early he's lifting off in through some of the corners, but yeah, it seems like he can put the power down right where he needs to there, as I honestly thought we might be able to get a run down at turn 1 there. You can just see that time round, a little bit of wheel spin. Starting to take a bit too much out of these tyres at the moment, Matt. Come on, keep it steady. Keep it steady. But yeah, I'm tempted. I mean, we may as well gamble it, mightn't we? Try and box a little bit early and undercut there. Just to see again, you can't put the power down out of the Nouvelle Chicane. You know what? I can't spend all afternoon looking at the back of Kevin Magnussen. I think we've got to risk it, and we're going to risk it now. Try and undercut our way into the top 10 there, and then really look after those medium tyres. We shouldn't close up to the back of Nick de Vries too quickly, I don't think, because make sure we don't get done for pit lane speeding. But, I mean, yeah, of course, on the contrary to that, if we get a safety car before the AI pit, I'm out, basically. We don't stand any chance of scoring points this afternoon. But anyway, heading down into the pit lane then, Fittipaldi and Nick de Vries right at the rear of the field, and we're not going to be too far behind them here. Let's just be very careful on the tyres early on pit exit, but also not... Whoa! Definitely got to rate more there on pit exit. We're lucky that's just a warning. But yeah, let's now try. I think we've got to be aiming for the Alfa Romeos. Being said though, 25 laps on a set of medium tyres here in a Season 1 car is not going to be easy, so we are really going to have to nurse them, and I'm surprised, to be honest, this doesn't cause a bit of a chain reaction for other cars up the road. But I mean, already on this lap, 2 seconds out of de Vries. My worst fear though has happened almost immediately then, right up to the back of Nick de Vries in an instant as we start. Well, we're halfway around lap 16. Let's see if we can try and switch him, because every single corner was stuck behind him. I mean, look at that, timed that to perfection. Tiny bit of contact as he'll try and hook it up around the outside through to back, but through will go. Fittipaldi next up then, and you really wish we had team orders on F123, because I could just try and get Fittipaldi to wave me by, especially after what he did at Imola. Look how slow Fittipaldi's going as we head our way down in towards the hairpin up the inside of our teammate. Oh, plenty of steering lock, a little bit of contact. He's going to try and not give up on it. Come on, Fittipaldi. Play the team game a little bit there, mate. It was a very, very aggressive move, of course, but we're through again. 2-3 seconds up to Sargent. You can see immediately, though, how quickly we've romped up to the back of yet another one. Whoa! Logan Sargent there, clearly desperate to go on the defensive, but threw up a mirror, but we get a warning for a collision. But you know what? We'll make our way through. Down the inside again for the hairpin. But yeah, Sargent there, very, very slow through the first part of the lap, and we're through. Oh, there we go, one of the Alfa Romeos into the pit lane then, so this will be where we start to get an idea of where we should re-emerge in this Grand Prix. If we're ahead of that Alfa, we have put ourselves in a very, very good position here as rounding our way through the final couple of corners. Oscar Piastri into the pits as well, and look at the jump we've got! Valtteri Bottas has come out a long, long way behind us then, so we really have been able to use this undercut effectively. Let's just keep pushing, see how much more we can get. All over the back of Nico Hülkenberg, those who come towards the end of lap 19, I'm hoping he's about to peel into the pit lane as well. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to have to try and find the way around him. Hulkenberg, yep, in he goes. So that's perfect for us. And you can see we've already caught back up to Yuki Tsunoda, who was the car behind me before we pit. I'm eyeing up now that group of Alpines and McLaren of Lando Norris a bit further up. Could we get past them? We are definitely, though, taking a lot out of the tyres. In towards the tunnel, we've already made one overtake on the Japanese driver through here today. Let's try and make it a second one. Oh, the gap just opens up at the final moment. Tiny bit of wheel banging as we head our way through there, but Tsunoda forced to back out once again. And poor little Yuki, we've done 2 overtakes on him in exactly the same way today. To Lance then into the pits, and you know what? We're going to be inside the top 10 then here in Monaco. So this has really worked out well for us at the moment. But of course, on the contrary, we're going to have a lot of defending to do late on in the afternoon. Let's just keep pushing. There is the potential for a bit of a miracle. Oh, there we go. Ocon Norris into the pit lane as well. And again, we're going to be way in front of them. Another new personal best then of the day. This might be, at the moment, one of the best strategy calls I've ever made. The undercuts are so ridiculous on F123. I'm absolutely loving it, though. I think it's going to make league racing and all kinds of racing so much better on this game. But yeah, again though, still, I mean, it might be worth us 2-stopping this race. You never hear that at Monaco, but with how ridiculous this is, it might be worth it. And there we go, Gasly into the pit lane. P7 now then of the Monaco GP, so I think we are literally now behind Alonso and the front runners. So is it worth pitting as we get towards lap 30? I guess we'll wait and see what the tyres are like, and then going on to a fresh set of softs to see us to the flag. Or we just focus on nursing these tyres. I mean, we've got plenty of time in hand there as Fittipaldi finally into the pit lane now. I mean, we got a pit stop on him since we pit. Max Verstappen, though, is hungry. Hamilton's still leading the way, but it's Verstappen that's setting all the fastest laps at the moment. Lewis, an experienced old head, though, he defended from the Dutchman back in 2019 here. Will he get another Monaco Grand Prix victory? Of course, what we're now also finding, with 15 laps to go then here from Monaco, is that now that whole advantage I had for a little while, the AI getting over me. So we're going to have to try and make this the widest car in the world. But already 10 laps done on these tyres. They're not feeling too bad. But yeah, by the end of this race, they are not going to be pretty. Right, 12 laps to go then. We are now effectively halfway through this stint. Oh, those tyres. They are not going to be fun towards the end of this race, sensibly so far. Oh, there's a wall there, Matt. Yeah, sensibly so far, I've been trying to avoid take tyres over about 50-odd% on F123, but today, these are going to be well into the 60s come the checkered flag. It's a step into the unknown, but there's also big points available. That's not the message I want to hear. We've got more than 10 laps to go, Mark. Being said, though, very, very much helped out that it's Stroll behind me on the hards rather than Ocon on the mediums, because Stroll is already acting like a bit of a rear gunner. Can't quite put the power down out of the final corner. So as long as we don't absolutely cook this set, I'm well aware of that still. Yeah, as long as we don't absolutely cook this set, I don't really see a lot that Stroll can do at the moment. Well, 8 laps to go then here from Monaco, and I say the pace is actually staying fairly similar at the moment. We're still setting mid 1 minute 15, so it's probably not as quick as Stroll could be behind me. But it's not exactly what I call slow just yet. I am waiting though, just for these tyres to absolutely hit the cliff with a few laps, but we're just trying to stay cool, calm and composed at the moment. I mean, I did and ah about whether it'd be worth trying to stop again and get one out ahead of the second Alpine of Pierre Gasly, but I just don't think we were going to get the space. Tyres starting to feel a bit more like we're driving on ice, but I think, to be honest, the AI is struggling just as much as I am at the moment. Lance Stroll really now not applying any pressure to me once again there. He's just floating about 1 second back, so I really don't want to jinx it by saying anything too early, but there is a big opportunity. What went wrong at Imola, hopefully. I honestly thought then he was going to say we were going to have a mechanical failure. I was literally about to joke and say I'm waiting for Mark to come over the radio saying we got a mechanical failure, but yeah, the gearbox is getting pretty worn out. I'm hoping it's not going to cost us too much. Oh, yellow's out, yellow's out. Someone's got issues further back. I don't know who it is. It seems to be one of the Alfa Romeos. I think that might be Bottas, who's going slowly, and everyone behind him stacking up inside the tunnel. Hopefully we're not going to end up with a Michael Schumacher 2004 type scenario, but I think it's too late for a safety car to be brought out in the Monaco Grand Prix. I could really do with one. Imagine if races could finish behind safety car, but Bottas, he's done so well this afternoon, and it's all for nothing. Oh, there we go. Tyre warning light has now officially flashed up as well, so now even the team saying these tyres are basically gone. Practically turn them into 50 pence pieces, I'm sure, but yeah, at the moment, unless I do something like that and just go straight on, Stroll still not really applying pressure. Round in La Rascasse then to start the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, and I tell you what, after Saturday, I thought all hope was lost this weekend for us. I didn't think we stood a chance here. But with a bit of a savvy strategy call and, well, to be honest, a bit of luck with Lance Stroll being the car behind us, we have absolutely made it work today. 19th to a potential 7th place here at Monaco in still what is one of the worst cars on the Formula 1 grid. You gotta love Monaco magic. It is a race like no other, and one that I will absolutely take our first points of the year on. Hamilton hasn't won a race, of course, since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He will finally be back on the top step then to take his 4th win around the Monaco Grand Prix and now claim the record for the most podiums at the venue. Max Verstappen will come through for P2. George Russell makes it a double Mercedes podium. They are absolutely back. Our 5th different winner of the season up to this point. It is so tough to call between those top runners there. Checo Perez, when is he finally going to get a win this season? But rounding our way through the final few turns, trying to take exactly 0 risk whatsoever, we've somehow made the strategy work. We'll even get a nice little push from Lance Stroll there as we head through La Rascasse and Anthony Noakes for the final time. But out of the final corner, finally, we have scored points on F123.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home. That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's review the driver's standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern day Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One, so be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we go then. Lewis Hamilton back on top in only way he knows how there. 4th win around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit brings him up, I think, now level. I think he might be one behind Michael Schumacher still, but either way, an impressive track record around this circuit. And like I said, now breaks the podium record as well here at Monaco, tied currently with Ayrton Senna there. Max Verstappen, though, in P2 will continue to build up his championship lead after Charles Leclerc's nightmare weekend. I mean, it's Monaco. Charles was always going to have a nightmare weekend there. Russell rounds out the podium ahead of Sainz and Perez there. And yeah, we make up an Aston Martin sandwich to finally take 212 Motorsport's first points of the campaign there. Stroll, Ocon, Lando, Norris rounding out our top 10. And yeah, I think Pierre Gasly was really struggling towards the end, because I probably could have pit and come out around in there. Fittipaldi finishes 1 lap down alongside Nick de Vries and Bottas. The only car not to make it to the checkered flag means championship-wise, yep, Max Verstappen now a 37-point lead at the top of the table. Perez just 1 point ahead of George Russell there, and Hamilton brings himself a bit closer to Carlos Sainz as well. Alonso pretty comfortable now as best of the rest. You know, whether Aston Martin should be in the top battle or not, I think, is a fight for another day there. But straight up into 12th place for us, of course. The problem we've got is where we've got the big 6, generally Aston Martin and generally Alpine, not really a lot of other points that can be scored by other teams there. So 6 points might genuinely be enough to keep us in the fight as well. You can see we elevate ourselves up ahead of Alfa Romeo and Haas as well. Red Bull now with a 47-point lead over Ferrari, but I think Mercedes might be the ones they need to start worrying about there. Alpine re-jump McLaren as well in their little constructors bout that I'm sure will rage on right the way throughout the campaign. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back tomorrow when Formula 1 returns ready for the Spanish Grand Prix. But of course, like I said, later today, round 1 highlights of the Williams RTG from Bahrain. You do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.